Okay, great. I think we can start now. So, hello. Yeah. So, in today's session, we'll be discussing the few questions from week 5. Okay. I think in the previous session, we already discussed the summary of week 5. So, basically, we are dealing with the dictionary here. Okay. So, from next week, we'll be having a quiz one revision session. Okay. So, please submit the assignments for week 5. Yeah, so let me share my screen here. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So I hope everyone is aware about what is a dictionary and how we store the values in that, right? So when we talk about dictionary, is basically what a key value pair, right? So we have, let's say, for a 1D dictionary, we use this curly braces, and we have this key value pair, right? And how to get the values? Simply we can specify that a dictionary, then in square bracket we can mention the key, and we can get the corresponding value. So this thing we have discussed, and the few operations on dictionary we have discussed, right? Now, if you gone through the those content. Now tell me the question. Tell me the code for question number 2 here. So we have this dictionary. You can see A equals to 1, B equals to 2, C equals to 3, right? Then write the code to print all the keys and values separately. So if I want to know what are the keys in this particular dictionary or values in this dictionary, how to get that? Yes, anyone? I have this dictionary. Let me copy this here. Yeah. Now we want to print the keys here. Okay, let's say for example keys of D. Okay, I want to print the keys of D. So what should I? गुड़िया वहां से ब्लूटूथ ऑफ कर दे बाबू. Please mute. Okay, how to get the keys of any dictionary? Yes, simple one. Tell me.
So can we use D dot keys
Yeah,
option?
yes.
Yes, that's it, right? So if I want a keys of D, so simply we have a keys function here. So that particular dictionary, then we can use this keys function, just parenthesis like that. Okay. So that's it. If you print, you can see we got this particular thing, right? Dictionary keys, you can see A, B, C, right? We could or directly print simply print this D dot keys as well. Both the things are fine, right? You can simply print this as well. Okay, if you want to see the keys in the dictionary. What about the values? How we can get the values?
The D dot values.
Dot values.
Yeah,
The key
simply
dot
if I
values.
want values, so simply that dictionary and the values here, right? Simple concept, right? Simple functions you should know. Now, if you know this, now tell me we need to write a program to find out the count the frequency of each character in this particular string. Let's say for example we have given any string, any sentence, right? And we want to find out how many times each alphabet is appearing, right? So count of frequency of each character here. So tell me how we can write the code for this. Let's say for example I am saying we have a text equals to hello world, right? I want to find out how many times each alphabet is appearing inside this particular text. So how we can do that? Yes, anyone? And let's say, for example, I want to store in this, let's say, dictionary frequency. Okay,
What do you mean by frequency?
count the frequency of each character means how many times H is
No,
appearing, how
I
many
got it
times E
count,
is
but
appearing.
what
Yeah,
what about frequency?
yeah. So number of times that character is appearing, right? So in that string, so H is appearing once. So in that I want H
Okay,
colon one,
okay, I get
E colon one, L we have three times like that. So we want
it.
each.
First, we have to
Huh?
for loop and
Yes.
for character in text. if character in basically we have to loop through the characters and
Yes, correct. Because here we want to go through each and every character, right? For that we can use for loop here, right? For each character in that particular text, I need to do something, right? So let's see. For each character, let's say for example, for I will just say char here in text. Now you can see I want what I want to do with that character, right? So first, let's say for example, in this empty dictionary, I want to add this as what key, and the corresponding value will be what number of times this h is appearing, right? So how we can do that after this? For loop is correct.
we have to compare one character to the whole string again and again in the loop.
Uh, One character, the whole string.
Sir, first we'll initialize each character to 0.
Uh, okay, we can do that. But why we can initialize with one also, right? If we get that h, because we are applying a for loop. So for that character, let's say for example, for the first iteration, that char will be h. So I want to add that h in frequency like this, and the corresponding value should be one. Like this, I want, right? In the output, the frequency. So how we can do that?
If character in uh,
Yeah. So if that particular character we are
no,
checking
no,
in
we have
frequency.
to first change the update the value of frequency, I guess.
Yeah. So if that character is present in the frequency, then what we want to do? We want to add it. We want to increment the
Compared to the
by one.
frequency table,
Yeah.
frequency dictionary.
Dictionary. Right. So here you can see char in frequency. Right. So how we can add the key
Before the
value in dictionary? Yes.
before the if statement, we have to update the dictionary by like frequency value of h.
No. Why we how we are going to update? No. No. We can do that, but what if we don't know which text are available? Right. Here we know because we can see H is the first character, or how many characters we have. Let's say, for example, I don't know how many characters we are, or what are the text in that, right? So in that case, how you can do that, right? So how we can add the key value pair in dictionary? Let's say, for example, I have this dictionary. I want to add a D and the corresponding value, say one, in this particular dictionary. You can see here how we can do that.
D dot items.
D dot no, no, d of 10 is equals to character.
So how we can add the key? Simply you can just mention this square bracket, that corresponding value, sorry, that corresponding key and the value corresponding to that. So if I mention like this, what will happen? Can I print D? Will this work? You can see D is got added here as a key,
Yes.
and the
Yeah,
corresponding value here you can see. If
Yes.
D is present already, and if I say 4 here, then the value will get updated to 4 like that. Okay. So what this will do? First, it will check whether the key is present inside a dictionary or not. If present, then it is going to update the value. If not, then it is going to create a new key and the corresponding value like that. Now tell me, we don't know whether that particular character is present inside the frequency or not. Then how we can do that? If it is not present, then what we have to do? We have to
but
create a
frequency
key.
dictionary is empty. So how
Yes.
we can compare that?
Yeah. So that's what the logic we have to write. If dictionary is empty, then we have to add that h and the corresponding value should be one. If in that dictionary h is present, then we have to increment the value by one. Okay. This
Yeah,
is what
yeah,
we need to do.
yeah.
So how we can do that? So here I am checking whether character is present inside the dictionary or not. So what I need to do? Suppose if it is present,
Frequency of that character
huh?
added to one.
Yeah, add to one. Yeah, you can say like that. Char equals to
Yep.
frequency of char plus one, or we can simply mention plus equals to one like that. Okay. So this is basically what frequency of char equals to frequency char plus one. Okay. So we are adding one into this particular value here, right? What is the value of this corresponding character we have? What if the character is not present inside the frequency? In that case, we can go for else, right?
We have to add that character in the
Huh.
frequency dictionary.
Okay, so we have to add, but what is the corresponding value for that then? What?
Zero.
No, we already
One, one,
going
one.
through that
Yeah,
character, right?
yeah,
So
yeah. One,
we are
one.
not initializing, so it should be equals to one, right? So see how it is going to work for each character in text. So H, I am checking whether H is present in frequency. No, then I will go to else block because this is false. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to add the key H and the corresponding value is one. Then I'm again going back to for loop. Next is E. Again E is not present. Again E equals to one. Then next is L. Again L equals to one. But if I go for next element here, that is L here, but L is present in the frequency, then it will get increment by 1. Okay, so if I print this now, let's see what the output. Yeah, you can see H1, E1, L3, O2, like that. And here you can see empty space is also there, right? So it is going to consider that space because its complete string is there, right? Like that. Okay. So this is how you can create a logic. Okay, so what we are trying to learn here, so how we can solve a particular problem. Here I know that I need to count the frequency of each character, so it means that I need to go through character one by one. It means what? I need to apply for loop, that is for sure, right? So everyone got this correct. But after getting that character, what I need to do, I need to add that character as a key and the corresponding value as one, like that. Okay, so for that you have to think what should be logic here. Okay, any question here, anyone? This is clear, right?
So is there any way, any other way so we can do that?
This is the simplest way. Okay, uh, yeah, there is other way also you can do, definitely, but yeah, this is the simplest way you can do. Okay, simply if
Oh,
else statement, nothing that. And anyway we need to use for loop for sure, because we need to go through each and every character here. Okay, so whenever you see in the requirement, we have to go through each element, each character, each number. So make sure that you should think for loop here, how we can use the for loop. Okay, like that. Okay, great. So let's try to solve other question. If you are able to solve, then you can easily solve the grade assignment questions of this particular week. So given the fruit price below, we have these fruit prices like that. We need to increase the price of every fruit by 20%, rounding to decimal place. Okay, so we'll see how we can round it off. But how we can increase the price of every fruit by 20%? Yes.
1.2 multiply by 1.2.
Yeah, how we can do that? Multiply by 1.2. So let me copy this food prices dictionary here. So we got this dictionary. Now tell me what to do with this particular dictionary. So we need to
Fruit
increase.
prices
Huh?
equal to fruit prices into 1.2.
Sorry, can you repeat?
Fruit prices equal to
Hmm?
fruit price to 1.2. Will that be okay?
No, no. Fruit prices equal to no. We need to increase the value of each fruit by 20%, right? So at least
so first we
1.2 is
have to
correct.
apply
Huh.
for loop, I guess.
Yeah. So what I said, you can see the question. Increase the price of every fruit. So you need to go through one by one here, one by one keys, right? So how we can
Yeah.
do that? Again,
For name
we
in
have to think for loop. Let's say
fruit.
for fruit prices. Let's say for example for I in this fruit prices, right?
Yeah.
Now what I need to do? I is basically what here? Tell me.
The index of that particular.
Not index here. We say key. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Key.
Yeah. So if I say print I, if you want to see what is getting printed, simply print I. Let's see. You can see we are getting apple, banana, orange, grape. So that is basically key of this particular dictionary. Now we got key. Okay, so we know for every key we need to apply a for loop. But what we need to do for every key? The corresponding value should be multiplied by the 1.2. How we can do that?
So you can take for I of each of these
Fruit
keys.
price of
You
I
take
equals
I
to
equal to I times 0.5.
No, I is basically a key here. We need to multiply to the value. Okay, 5 into
D of I.
1.2
Sir.
like that.
fruit
We can do D of I.
Yeah, we
D
can
of
do D of
I.
I. Yeah.
Okay, so
fruit
it is
that
fruit
price
prices
I
of I.
into
Yeah. So fruit prices then of I. Okay. Now, if I
multiply
see
by
fruit prices of I, the corresponding
Hmm.
value will be what? 5 here. What we need to do with this?
Equal to
Yes.
fruit price of I into 1.2.
Yes. Same thing here, right? So if you want a value, here you can see, but if you want a corresponding key, so you have to dictionary, and in the square bracket you have to put the key here. Then only you are going to get the values. Okay. So here, what we need to do, multiply by 1.2. I guess this will work. Let's see. Print. Print. Let's see. Uh, yeah, I guess this is correct. Yeah, you can see. Yeah. So we have increased the price of every food by 20% here, right? So while reading the statement only, you should think what we need to do here. Again, what I said in the previous question, increase the price of every fruit by 20%. It means what? I need to go through each and every key value pair here, right? So again, same thing. I need to apply a for loop here, right? Any doubt in this question? Anyone?
So we
Sir,
are
only
solving.
why you have multiplied 1.2 like for 20%?
No, increase the price of every fruit by 20%. So if you want to increase, so we have to multiply by 1.2 here. Because 20% means what? Current price plus 20% of the particular price. That is basically 1.2, right?
Sir, you have to round it off.
Sorry?
The question asked is you have to round it off.
Round it to decimal, right? So how we can do that? Uh, I think the round function will work. Let's see. Already it's rounded off to okay, one decimal here, but anyway, that will be a zero only, second
So,
decimal point.
excuse me, sir. Are
Huh?
we solving GIP 1?
No, no. So it's similar to that only. Okay. If you
So,
understand this
so
one,
I have a doubt in GIP 1. Can I ask?
no, no. Okay. Let me discuss this. Okay. You can
Okay.
solve the
After,
GRPA
after,
question.
after that, I may ask you after the
Yeah.
session.
After the session, you can. I'm not going to solve the question, but if you have any
No, no,
doubt, you
I'm
can ask.
some problem is coming. The doubt that's why I'm asking.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. After session, we'll discuss. Yeah. No worries.
1.2, comma 2.
Here we are not getting rounded off. Okay.
Sir, can
Comma two
we
is missing,
use
right?
red string for
Yeah.
this?
Yeah. Yeah. Ah, yes. Can you repeat?
We use red string for this for rounding to two decimal places.
F string.
Yes.
No, F string is not required. Here you can use a
why
round
this
function
comma
here
tool is written here.
because rounded up to two decimal point here, right? That's what it's mentioned. But if you see 2.40, basically 2.4 only, right? Like that. If I say increase by 30%, now you can see 6.5 like that, right? So let's say 6.1. The comma is missing. What is happening? It's getting removed one by one. Yeah, you can see rounded off. Okay, so now you can use a round function to do a rounding off up to certain decimal. If you want two decimal, you can put two. Up to if you want three decimal, you can put three like that. Okay, this is how this round function will work. Okay, okay, great.
So is that not a manual way to do that? If you don't
Uh,
use round method.
no, if rounded off will automatically round it off to up to that particular decimal, right? This function we can use. You don't need to. This is simplest way you can do. Okay?
Oh,
You
okay.
can go for this round function. Okay, great. So I hope everyone got. If you need to do some operation with every element of the dictionary, or let's say list, or every key value pair, so you need to go for a for loop here. Okay, so you have to think in that manner. Okay, now let's say for example, yeah, so we have this multi-string containing fruit and their prices separated by commas. Write a program to convert this string into data structure of fruit. Yeah. So what we need to do, this we have to create a dictionary. In that we have to add this as key, and the corresponding this will be value. Okay. So apple colon 5, then we have banana colon 2, like that. So how we can do that? Let's say for example, I am giving you a data in a csv file, that is comma separated value, and if you we want to store in a dictionary like that. Okay, so here we have a two column, let's say fruit and prices, but I want to store in a dictionary. How we can do that?
So first we have to split that
What we have to do?
separated by comma.
Okay, so let me copy this here. First, yes, we have to use strip function here. Okay, for what?
Input data dot strip function we use.
Okay, let's say for
Or
example d
maybe we
equals
have
to
to use for loop.
data dot strip. If we use the strip function here, you can see what we are going to get. Print d. So you
We
can see
separate
we
by
are, huh?
we separate by comma separation is also in the inside the strip function. Comma we should.
Split or strip.
Yeah. So we have strip will remove space from both the side, right? So we have done that because empty space. Then what we need to do? We need to split this, right? So we have to use a split a function here.
Data
So
dot strip dot split
yeah, so here only we can add dot split here, right? And if we see,
comma.
yeah, so what we got here, we got this in the format of list. Okay, but we want this
We also remove that comma in that
comma. Yeah, how we can do that?
by split
The
of comma.
comma
Yeah, yeah. Yes,
inside
yes.
the comma inside this comma should be there.
You know,
No,
string.
comma is this between the two commas which is two inverted comma we should do this way this way.
No, this is not. Here you can see. Oh, it is getting to a slash and new line, so we have to do by
And
slash
next
and
line, next
yeah,
line. Yes, yes,
slash and like that. Okay. So here, if we do a split, what you can see, apple 5, banana 2. Okay. So here you can see we got the list here. Okay, let's go with this one only. Here we got the list, and every element is what? A pair of fruit and prices. Okay, this is one element, another element, another element. So we have four elements, and each element is basically a combination of fruit and its corresponding prices. Now how we can store that? We got a list here. Now if you got list, what we need to do? If I want to go through each and every element,
run a for loop.
okay, so we got list. Now let's say for example for I in D. Okay, for I in D, I'm, let's say first I'm printing I. So you can see we are getting this one by one like this. Okay, now for every I, what I need to do? We need to store apple as a key and the 5 as a corresponding value. So what we can do that now? Mhm.
Split there and
We have to split by comma, that is for sure.
D
Then
dot
after that,
uh, D of uh, D of key should be equated to the D dot value, I think. Uh,
so let's try the split method here.
Okay, so let's say for example we want to store in fruit underscore prices, this one only, right? Dictionary. Okay, so this is basically a name of a dictionary. Okay, so for every I in D, what we can do, I can split this one. So if you are confused what to do, you can simply try to print what we are getting. Okay, so I got split comma. So if I do this, what I am going to get? We are going to split this by what? Hmm, how it works? Okay, again this is missing. Okay, so we have split this into this one. Now every, yeah, so one element we have converted this to a list, and you can see this is basically what one element. This is basically next element. So here it is a one list now. Now in that list we have apple, right? Now apple is at apple should be a key and the 5 should be a value. So we got this now. I want this as key. I want this as value. That's it. Simple one. Now tell me.
So the 5 is integer.
Yes, 5 is integer. Okay, we can convert it to integer.
So first we have to create an empty dictionary.
Okay, first we can create an empty dictionary. Yeah, so here we got a list, right? So what is the index position where we have a fruit for every dictionary? 0, right?
The
0.
At one position we have a price. So what we have to do for every element, 0 basically is a key and the corresponding value will be at one position, right?
yes.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Now, yeah, so now think in that manner. If we have a list, because we already know that will be a list here, then what to do? Because here I dot split is basically is giving me what? A list of list. Yeah, so index position. Okay. So if I say this fruit underscore prices, right? We know what is I is. Now I am saying it is basically dictionary and the corresponding key value pair. So for I dot split is what we are getting the list. Now for this list, I want the first element that is basically zeroth index, right? And the corresponding will value will be what? First index, right? Can we do like this? Let's see what we are going to get here.
Yeah, let's
Is,
try.
yeah, will this work? Grape 7. Why
It will
only?
only print one value here.
Okay, yeah, for that one only, right?
0 and 1 we have to update it.
Yeah, we have to
I
update for every that
Yeah,
thing, right?
yeah.
Okay. So what we need to do in this case for this one, we can also mention here. Yeah, here I can do. This should be done for every in that particular case. So if I just mention here, so that should be what? Hmm. Hmm. So this is what we want integer, right? So here we got string because 7 you can see inside the string. So we want integer. So we got integer, but this is only for the last thing. I want for everything. So for let's say
So for loop is use that for loop. For
if I have
I
print
is
this.
we have I.
Yeah, so you can see this is what we want. Yeah, we got what we want. So in the dictionary we have the key as a fruit and the corresponding value here. Okay, so see what we have done here. So first we know what is this I dot split will return. It is going to return the list, and in that list we have every element what apple and the corresponding value. So fruit and the corresponding price, right? So now we need to go through each and every element here, right? So if you see what we got here, let me print that first. I got split in bracket. Let's see. Print value. Yeah, so you can see, right? This is what we got here, right? Now for every list we need, sorry, for every list we need to do this particular thing. That's why I have written for I in D we have to do this. So zero position is basically a key and the one position is basically a value. So we are going to get this particular dictionary because we are mentioning this inside the dictionary in this particular format. Okay, is this fine? So you have to try all different method and try to print what we are getting, and accordingly you can think. Okay. Yeah. So simple problem. It looks complex, but yeah, we need to think in detail how we can go for this like this. Okay. Yeah. Any question here? Anyone? Okay. Great. So I hope everyone knows how to deal with the dictionary, right? What are the functions we have? Okay, so please remember those function here, right? This is what we have done here. Now,
Is this session recorded, sir?
yeah, it is live on YouTube. Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, after the session, I will share this Jupyter notebook link. You can go through this. Okay.
Yes.
So up till now we have just deal with one dictionary here. Let's say for example we have a nested dictionary like this. Okay. So dictionary inside a dictionary means what? Outer dictionary is having the key student name and the corresponding value is basically one more dictionary. In that we have a subject and the corresponding marks, right? So if you remember a course data set in a city course, right? There we have a C subject and the corresponding marks, right? So what if we are storing the data in the dictionary format, and then we want to find out something here. Okay, so we need to perform some operations. This should be a simple one. Everyone should be able to get this. Let's say for example I want to print the Charlie physics score. How we can do that?
That the students of Charlie uh, equals to,
Okay.
yeah.
Students Charlie of physics. Print of
So let me copy this first. Okay, so here simply print, yes.
Students of Charlie of physics.
So that dictionary, then we have to go inside the that particular dictionary. So we have to use Charlie here. Charlie, then after this,
physics.
yeah,
Physics.
again, yeah. I guess this is clear for everyone, right? We got the corresponding value here. This is simple one. So how we can go through the dictionary, nested dictionary. What if we want to add a new subject biology with score 88 for this student, Elias?
Uh,
How we
and
can do that?
Student
new
dot
subject,
append.
Yes.
No.
uh,
Alias dot append. Uh,
Dot append function is for the list, right?
add a new subject biology.
Unused extend function.
Extend again for the list. Okay, tell me what's the difference between append and extend? Someone said extend, someone said append, but what's the difference? Both is applicable to list, but the difference between append and extend, tell me.
So append take
order.
one by one, whereas extend will take the all elements at one time. Yeah, one by it's one by one, but it will it can take many elements.
No, not
Extend.
exactly
Sir, can
correct.
I?
Yes.
Sir, append means it takes only one element at a
Hmm.
time, whereas the extend can take a complete list into
Yes.
the list.
The difference in the input here in the append X, we say X is basically an element here. So whatever you are going to mention, a number, a string, or even a dictionary, or even a list here, that is basically a new element of that particular list. Okay. But if I say dot extend, this is going to extend that original list and is going to merge another list here. So in the case of extend, the input is list here. So whatever we are going to add, that will get merged with the original list here. Let's see, for example, L1. Okay, if I say L1 dot extend, and if I specify like this, so in the
Yeah.
L1, this will get merged. Okay, but if I say L1 dot append, and same thing if I add here 1111, so this will be a new element here. It is not going to get merged, so this will create a new element. So this will be the entire one element here. So append will take element as an input, extend will take list as an input. Okay, so this is basically a merging of two lists. I
Yes.
remember this one.
That I
Yeah.
was saying, sir. That I was
Yeah.
saying.
Okay, so let's
So
come back
here
to,
we, sir, here we can do students
Simply
of
we have to do allies of
Alice of biology
biology.
equal to 88.
yes,
Yeah,
that's it, student. Then we have to go through that particular name. So that is Alice, and then
biology.
Alice. And for that, we have to create one new key, that is biology here. If already created, it will update.
Yeah,
It should be inside the string. And the corresponding value, whatever we have mentioned, we can mention 88.
80, 88.
Let's try to append student here. Mhm. Yeah. So
Name
here,
students is not defined.
yeah, here you can see
Yeah,
student. Yeah,
yeah.
88, right? So that's it, simple one. You should know. Next is increase the Bob's math score by 5. So again, simple one. We already discussed in the first few question. We need to increase the math score by 5 of Bob. That is basically it should be 75 plus 5. That is 80 here. So how we can increase by 5? Yes,
Bob math plus is equals to
To
5.
5. Yeah.
simple one. Here I'm just updating like that. So again, we need to use the key student. Then we have to use Bob. Then again, we have to use uh, that subject. And then equals to what?
Plus,
Huh?
Plus equal to 5.
plus
Plus
equal.
equal to 5, yes. So we have to take the first, that actual value, so that will be like this, and then plus 5, so it is plus equal to 5, like that. Okay, so if I simply print, so we are going to get what, 980 here, like that you can see. Okay, so this is how what we are getting. Next is calculate and print the average course of alias across all subjects. Now tell
So
me,
we need to define two variables. One is sum, another is count. So we will take each of the elements in the bob. I mean, each of these values of this bob, and sum them up, and then we try to find the average
uh,
using a for loop.
using a why for loop is required? We just want for this one student only, alias, right? Not for all. So we just need to take this dictionary as a
Okay,
input.
alias.
Allies
Okay,
dot values.
okay, just alias. Okay.
Yeah. Then once we got this as this value, then we have to do find out the average. So how we can do that? First, let me take this the value. So simply I can write student. Then in bracket I can just mention the alias. So what we are going to get here? Let's say I want to store this as alias score equals to this one. So if I print this, we got this dictionary now. Now this is basically this dictionary. So we need to take the values of this dictionary and then take the summation of that value and divide it by number of values. This is what the average is. So how we are going to get the values now?
alias dash
For
sc dot values.
Okay. Great. So alias VA basically what? This thing dot values. Okay. So we already discussed how to get the values. So this will give us the value here. Let me
no.
see. So we got this value in the dictionary here. Sorry, in the list here. So how we can get the average now? We need to do some. We need to count how many values are there, then divide by that.
Your for loop will run for loop for alias dot value. Alias.
For loop for summation, you can do that. You can go through a for loop. You can add one by one. So we are going to get the sum as well as we can count as well, right? We can go in that
So
manner as well.
we can define a variable like count equals to 0 and sum equals to 0, and then we can have for
We can't we
count.
can't apply length directly from there.
If I apply line, we'll get direct number. We don't need count here. Okay. What about summation? How to get summation?
We should use for loop, I think. Yeah?
We can have this like for I in dict values.
For I in this alias
Dot-
VA,
Okay, yeah, alias VA, yes. We have sum equal to sum plus I.
some yes,
Yes, sum
Yes.
plus I.
Yes.
but some should be zero initially.
Yes, sum. We first initialize sum to 0.
Okay, so what we are going to get here? Print sum.
Sum.
So
Some
that
divided
should
by
be 343, right?
len of divided by len of I.
Print divided by len of,
I.
not len of I, at least this entire
Yeah, ls. Sorry.
values, right?
Alice
Yeah,
values.
Yeah.
So we got this particular average, right? So yeah, we can do like this, or we know we have a sum function as well, right? So if I simply mention sum in bracket, this alias VA also, this will give a summation of all the element inside the list. That's it, right? So either what happened? ENT object is not callable. Okay, so it should be an integer, right? So yeah, it should be an integer.
We should pass the int function for sum.
Will this work? Mhm. No, that's already an integer, I guess. So why it is not working?
So before sum we can use integer, no? Int sum.
I guess
Okay.
in dict values, uh, list of list.
So alias is basically a list. So if I use a sum function there, so that will give me. So let me first directly simply print this one, then we'll see. Okay, the problem is here, right? In the sum function. Okay, I guess if I store this in s and then print s.
So we can use here the flow division for the this average value. Flow division we can do, then we will get integer value only.
Okay, but why this s is not getting here? Some function should work here. Okay, yeah, you are correct. Yeah. For average, we have to use that as well. Hmm. Is dot values. Okay, we'll see this one. But yeah, we can apply for loop directly. Okay, but some function should work here. values is basically this one. We got this one, and this is basically integer only. So we are doing a summation of this one. So that should work. Okay. Anyway, if we can apply a for loop and then we can get the sum, and then simply a length function will work. So let's say length will work here. Len print as, yeah, this is working. 4 elements we have. Okay, so yeah, we can go for this as well. Okay, so for loop as well, that is also fine. What we have discussed. Go back. Yeah, here like this. Okay, so this will also work. Okay, great. I guess that's it. And the last is print all list of all student sorted alphabetically. So we can print the list of all the student Alice, Bob, Charlie, and alphabetically. Anyway, that will be. So we just want a student name. That is basically a keys here, right? So we can simply print the keys. So students dot keys is basically will give us the student name here. That's it. Is already it's in sorted, but you can just mention sorted here. So anyway, it will be same only. Okay. Okay. Fine. So yeah, that's it. Okay. Now same thing here, but in this case, here it was a nested dictionary here. The corresponding value is a dictionary, but what if the corresponding value is list here in one of the case? So how to go through this particular dictionary? Let's see. Okay, so I want to print the names of employees who know Python. How we can do that? Name of employees who know Python. So this one. So what we need to do here? First, tell me the logic how we are going to write. Yes.
So we
So
can use the for loop, right?
okay, for loop. Okay, we apply for loop. Then if I apply for that element I in employees, so that will be a what?
Yeah, we'll search for these keys. If they in the keys, we'll search for Python.
No. See, Python is basically element of the value of the key skill, right? We have to search in this list, which is basically a value of the key skills, right? And for which we want for, yeah, and we want to print the value of this particular key name in which this Python is present. Okay. Now think for loop is for sure because we need to go through each and every name here, and we need to check whether skill is equals to Python, like skill Python is present or not. The for loop is for sure. Then after for loop, tell me what we need to do. And so I'm writing a for loop here. Let's say for example for or let's say employee in employees. After this, what I need to do? So you can see what we are getting here. Print employee. If you want to see, we are getting this every employee basically a what this entire dictionary here, because this is basically a list. Inside list we have a dictionary. Inside dictionary we have one more list here, right? Like that. So this is what we got. So employee means what? We are getting this dictionary. Now what we need to do with this dictionary? We have to check whether Python is present inside the skills, and then only we have to take we have to print the corresponding value of that key name here. Tell me. So let's go with this one only. Let's check for this one only, because for amp in employees, the first element will be this dictionary. So what I need to do with that?
So we can like check for the first another uh, nested for loop like for a key in the employ emp, and then if the key is equal to the
Mhm.
skills, then again we will use another nested loop for searching the Python one.
Mm, uh, okay. Okay. Tell me. We have writing for. Let's say in what we have to write here.
Emp.
Employee. Okay. Then after this.
Then if I is equal to skills.
No. Skills is basically a key na here. So if you say if I equal to skills, okay, you can see. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. After this. Okay. After this. Let's see.
Then we can
Mm,
like do
We can add list na.
emp, then no.
mm,
Key.
see what you are getting here. I. Let's see what is I here. Uh,
We can use
okay.
if list if skill index of 0 is equal to Python, then we can.
Skill index zero. Yes. Yeah, we can go for that. Python is in skill, correct. Yeah. So we need to check simply whether the Python is present inside this list or not, right? So we have seen, okay, so that is correct here. So let's say, for example, I want to check whether Python is present inside this list or not. So how we can do that? We simply go if
Hmm.
Python, how we can check whether the element is present inside the list or not in employee of what? Skills. Yeah, great. So here skills, right? So we are checking whether Python is present inside this list now. Employee of skills, but skills here, yeah, this will be, we are checking. If it is present, then we simply need to print the name. That's it. Let's see, print. What we need to print? Name. So no, that name will is basically a key, right, of employee. So we have to mention like this, I guess. Let's see what we are going to get. John and Doe. John Doe. Yeah, correct, right? So John and the Doe is the student who can see Python skills, right? Yeah, simple. See, you can see we just need to check whether the Python is present inside that list or not. How we are going to get the list? That particular employee emp, and just simply we have to use key. So corresponding value is basically a list. Then we have to check whether Python is inside the list. If that is true, we have to simply print the name. That's it, right? So you have to think like that. Okay. A simple code, just 3 lines of code, but let's see, we have taken more than 10 minutes here, right? So you have to solve more questions like this. Okay. I hope this is clear, right? How it is working. Any question? Anyone? Okay, great. So we need to add skills AWS to do skills. So here we need to add AWS. How we can do that? Simple one. Yes, anyone?
Can you please repeat the question?
Second statement is we need to add skill AWS to this particular student named DOS, right? DOE, DOS skill list. So we have to add AWS here inside the list.
So
No.
We can use append in dictionary here.
Append, append AWS to this particular list. That is correct. But how we are going to get this list? Once first we have to get this list, then append we have to use. That is correct. How to get the list?
It is
Uh,
employees of
Okay.
Joe, Do, Do and skills.
No, no. Tell me the code. Employee of what? What should
So
I write?
list
What is list?
so
What I have
list
to write?
dot append AWS for uh, for list
What is
sorry
list
for
here? We need to append in this particular thing because we can see here we have do. That's why we are directly going for this. But first we need to go and check whether the name is do. Then only we have to go for the list only. Na? How we can
so for
go
like again for loop using for loop.
again for
For
loop?
employees of a name, if name
Huh?
equals to do, then
Yes,
employees dot skills plus equals to AWS.
not plus append.
Append, sorry.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, that is correct. For let's say employees, right?
Yes.
If employee and employee is basically we are going to get this particular dictionary. We know that. Now if the employee name is what do, so
Equals
we
to
are checking if a employee in that we have a name. If that is basically a do, what we need to do, we need to add the skill here. How to do that skill?
amp
Now
of
tell me.
skills.
Hmm.
Amp of name of sorry amp of skills is equal plus is equals to AWS.
Skill.
No, plus you cannot.
Equals to
No, we want to add
append.
the element here, right?
We use the dot
Append. We
append
have to,
function.
yeah, simply we have to append because output of this particular thing is what? This list. Now here I need to append, right? So after this I need to
Yes.
put dot append. What I need to append? AWS. That's it. Let's see whether we are going to what we need to print. Let's say print employees, right? Mhm. Will this work? Yes, yeah, you can see skills. AWS got added for the name Joe here, right? Like that. So again, we need to think how we can approach it. Again, simple problem, but yeah, we got it correct here. So simply first we need to check the name though, and for that student only we have to append the AWS, right? Even if we have a different one more key with the name though, for that student also we need to append AWS like that. Okay. Okay, so we can apply any condition for the student or for the employees whose age is greater than 30. For those only we are going to append this particular skills. Like that also we can say. So instead of name condition, we have to put the condition on age here. That's it. Okay.
Yes.
So whatever question we have discussed up till now, what we have learned, whenever you need to go through every element, so we have to go for a for loop. Whenever you want to do something for after checking some condition, we have to go for a if else condition here, right? Or simply if statement here if it is required, right? So this is what we are doing here. Simply we are applying for loop. Simply we are checking condition and doing the operation. That's it, right? Now next is calculate the average age of all employees. Average age of all employees. In the previous question, we find out the average score of that particular student. That is a different thing. But here, because in that case, we just need to go for one dictionary here. But here we need to go through all the dictionary where we take the value of age and then we have to find out the average. How to do that? Tell me. Okay.
So for amp in employees,
Okay. Again for loop for MP in employees. Okay.
amp amp of
Hmm.
age amp of age plus is equals to
Hmm.
amp of that age.
No, that will not work. So you are saying this amp of age plus equals to amp of age? No, no. So
So
28, we don't want to add 28 with 28. We want to add 28 with 32, like that.
yes, so first we'll initiate a variable age,
Mhm.
then we'll append to that variable emp of age to that variable.
Hmm. Okay. So you are saying age equals to 0, then you are saying age equals to age plus imp of age. Is that correct? Is this you are saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if we do this, let's see what we are getting.
And so the count for
Some error we got. Let's see what's that. Error here. Employees. So we got the sum, but we want the average. How to get the
sir
average?
Divide by the len of.
after initiating the age we'll initiate count, and
Okay, so we
count
are
is equals to 0.
uh, then
Then in the loop
hmm?
after the age we'll append the count, like count plus is equals to 1.
Equals to 1. Will this work? Okay, after that you are
And
saying
after that age divided by count.
yeah, this is basically average age of the employee. Yeah, correct. So simple logic you are like applying for loop and go for each and every element, do the summation, and then take the count. That's it, right? Yeah, great. Here we can also apply len function. No, I guess yes, no. Employee edge. No, len function will not be applicable because here if we just find out how many elements we have, that is basically number of edge we have, that also work, but this is the correct way, I guess. Yeah, you can go for this one, simple logic, right? Nothing much into that. Anyone, any question here? Okay, great. Print all unique skills processed by employees. So unique skills: Python, SQL, Java, C++, JavaScript. So we want this one, no duplicate, only the uh, unique skills, right, by employees. So again, what you need to do? Tell me again how we are going to do that. See, these all are the easy problem statement, right? We can easily understand what is our requirement is.
Unique skills equals to empty set. Then for MP
Okay.
employees,
And why empty set? Why we are going for set?
because in set we set always stores the unique collection.
Okay, so skills equals to, let's say for example, empty set. Okay, we have created
Yeah.
then
For MP employees, uh, unique skill dot.
for loop we have to apply or what?
Yes, sir. For MP employees, unique skill dot update employee of skills. Amp of skills. Sorry.
Okay. So how we can update a set now, because we are dealing with the set, not list, not dictionary, right?
Dot update.
Yeah. So update function, we're going to update the set by what?
Employees square bracket skills.
Square bracket. Will this work? Because here square bracket skills will give us what? The list here, Python and SQL, right?
Yes.
So
Then print
Python
unique skills.
SQL. Let's see. Yeah, it should work.
Print UNs.
Yeah, that's it. So we are getting this as a unique skills processed by employees with no duplicates here.
Or sir, we can also do like write a unique skill equals to empty list, or we can check if skill is not in unique list, then
Huh.
append that
Then
skill
append
in.
that particular skill.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah,
sir.
that also we can do. Correct. Okay, so this is how we can get the unique skill in the set here. Okay, this is basically a set you can see. So don't get confused with the curly braces here. Only we have the value that is basically set. But if we have key value pair, that is basically dictionary here. Okay, that's it. So I hope everyone. Any question here like what we have discussed? So whenever you get any dictionary list or nested dictionary, first read the question, understand the problem statement, what you need to do. Okay, then apply for loop, then apply if condition. Okay, and if you don't know what you are getting, just simply try to print every time, and you can see what we are getting, and then accordingly you can change your logic here, right? Now if I print I here, okay, I'm getting this. Now I have converted the dictionary into list. Now can I apply logic of a list here? How we can do that? Okay, so you can use this print statement to see what you are getting as of now, and then again you can write your logic. Okay, so this will come via practice only. You need to practice more. Okay, so Python programming is basically any programming language you have to practice, that's it. Okay, or this logic also simple logic, but we took more time to solve these questions, right? I hope these things are clear. Anyone, any question what we have discussed?
I have a question. Sorry, I joined a bit late. I'm sorry for the experience. Sorry.
Okay,
And what we discussed was week 5, or it's a kind of revision that we did. I'm
no
sorry
no,
for that.
it's a week 5 session. So in the last session we have summarized the content of week 5. So in this session we have discussed few questions here based on the
Okay.
week 5 content.
Okay. And will we have a revision in the this week, coming week?
Yeah, so next week is entire quiz one revision only, week 1 to 4.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. So I will share this Jupyter notebook. You can go through the question and the code. Okay. Yeah. Okay, great. So this is what we have discussed in week 5, and then we have one tutorial, or we can say one lecture on matrix multiplication. Yes, any question?
Sorry to bother you again. I think they have released some document which talks about some weekly. I mean, for the quiz one portion and so on. But for the OPP, I still remember it's from 1 to 5 weeks only, right?
Yeah,
Week
week
4
1
only,
to
right?
5 for OP. Yeah.
Okay, because that all the Python thing it was showing 1 to 4. I was surprised that whether something has changed this time in the pattern or something. I just want to clarify that.
No, no. For OP 1 to 5, but again for quiz 1 to 4.
So, actually,
4. Okay, thank you.
Hmm?
we are in the we are discussing the list. So I'm asking the GRPA one. The concept I'm not asking the question. The concept is there. It is asking the fruits is a list. So fruit is a key and it is a list. So yes.
Which question? Question number 1.
First question only. In the dictionary operation, this one. So he's add the fruit to fruits. Huh? First question, top one.
Okay.
My question is that how can be food is a list of food can be a list key since food is a key, so how can be stored in a list? That's my question.
No, this is basically what fruit price is basically dictionary, and fruits is basically a list of those fruits here. So there we are taking two inputs here: fruit prices and the fruits. So fruit prices is basically a dictionary, and in fruits we have the list of fruits. I guess it is mentioned here. So fruit
So
prices dictionary based on the fruit list here, you can say. So add fruit 0 with a cost of 3, uh, like that.
so my fruits list is not included in the dictionary. That means that I'm
Sorry.
list of fruit is like it means that food list of fruit is not included list of key of list of fruit. Key of since food is in the fruits is stored in the list na, so
Hmm.
is it a part of dictionary or how it is?
No, fruit is basically a list here. So here what we have discussed, right? So fruit prices is basically where it is. Here this is basically fruit prices, right? And fruits is basically what? It's a list having this apple. And then we have this banana like that. Okay.
Okay.
So what we need to do? Fruit 0. So here what I have written. So fruit 0 is what? If I apply fruit 0 here, what I am going to get?
Yeah,
Uh,
apple.
apple, right?
Apple.
So what we need to do for that particular fruit, we need to update by with cost 3. Okay, so add the fruit prices with cost 3. Add the fruit 0 to the fruit prices. Okay, so is it an empty dictionary previously? Uh, okay, if it is empty, then it will get updated. Otherwise, we are going to add this apple in this fruit list with the cost 3. But let's say I have apple, banana, orange, papaya. Okay, so I have this papaya inside the list. I want to add into this particular fruit dictionary, and the corresponding price is basically a 3. So simple logic you can write here. So
Uh,
go to that dictionary, whatever dictionary name we have, in bracket we have to mention what it should be a fruit name, but fruit name is what at index fruit 0, right? So that's it,
oh,
equals to whatever the price we have
no,
set.
no, that I know, but I'm asking what we are doing here. Actually, what the question is doing here, is it taking element from a list,
Yes.
and
So it
then
is going to take the element from the list and we are going to add in the dictionary, and
yes, yes,
corresponding cost is basically 3.
yes,
Corresponding
yes.
value is 3.
So dictionary is not a list, na. This is element of this fruit is not is part of this dictionary.
No, no. Fruit is
And
a
it's
separate,
not this,
separate list. Yeah.
yes, it is separate list. Okay, okay, yeah, that's
Like what we have seen here. Fruit prices, fruit. Now index position 0, we have papaya. So we need to add into this fruit prices papaya, and the cost is basically 3. Okay.
okay, okay,
That's it.
that's okay.
Simple, you need to update, but here fruit 0 already they have mentioned. That's it. Yeah. So instead of key, you have to use fruit 0. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. So this is about the week 3, and if you observe question 1, 2, like what, if you understand what we have discussed today, you can easily solve all those questions. Okay, that's it. So in week 5, we have some matrix multiplication also. One of the video professor discussed about matrix multiplication. So matrix is what? Simply we can say array, right? So a list of a list we can say. So let's take a simple matrices only. We'll not go in detail. So let's say, for example, we have list of list, that is matrix of 2 by 2. Let's say here I am mentioning 2 by 2 matrix. So we have two lists here. So here let's say 2 comma 3, 2 comma 4, let's say, and then we have one more element, uh, 1 comma 2. Okay, this is what we got, and this is basically a matrix by 2 by 2. You can see row is 2 4 and the 1 2. If you want to see print here, list print here. So anyway you can get the same list as well. So 2 by 2 matrix, and let's say we have one more dictionary. Let's write any number here, 5 6, then here again 3 comma 4 or 2 comma 1, like that. So we have these two matrices of 2 by 2 matrix. So 2 4 1 2 are the elements of matrix A, and this 5 6 2 1 are the elements of matrix B. Now I want to apply this. I want to do a matrix multiplication here. How we can do that?
So row first, multiply row first in to the column of the second.
Yes. So matrix multiplication, how it happens? So we take one row, all the elements of one row, we multiply with the columns of another matrix, right? Like that. So how we can do that?
So a of I
For
first
I in range, then of A
For I in
range len of dimension.
so here we already know 2. So length is what here? Length of A or
Yes.
length of B?
both are same, sir, since
Length,
we are considering dealing with square
length of
multiplication.
A. Yeah. For J in range, length of B.
B length of A B, yeah, A same thing.
Then what we need to do? So for every element, what we need to do?
For
After this,
We
also
have
For K in
K range
YK.
because
because for the first loop we have to keep I as constant and means keeping rows constant and taking the columns, and the second keeping rows as constant and
Hmm.
columns and column as constant and rows as varying variables. That's why.
Rows as variable. Okay. Okay. After this, for k in the range of what?
So
Same
len of A.
len of
Line of a. Okay. So anyway, that will be a two only. Okay. After that,
C of
C of
We have
I
to
of
ij.
J.
what is C?
C is a
The
initialize the variable.
resultant matrix after the multiplication.
Okay. Do we need to initialize that, or directly we can create?
We have to initialize.
initialize.
Yeah. So we'll create one empty matrix here. We already know 2 by 2 matrix summation is basically 2 by 2 only. So let's say with 0 0 we'll do that. Okay. So 0 comma 0, and here we have again 0 comma 0. So 0 0 we have null matrix. Now we need to update row and column, right? What is row? What is column here? How we can do that?
I and 0 and j. C of
C of
ij
I of J.
Equals to what?
equals to a of
First
Equals to
C
the
I
current.
first
Equals to
first
current value, right? We have to take current value, then we need to update. Plus,
A of I of K
huh?
I
Good.
of
into B of K of J.
I K of J.
Yeah. Into, repeat,
B of K
So
of J.
b, b of k of j. Why we are using like this? Why I of k?
for
because
The
the
this
I
I
refers to the rows of
Huh?
the matrix A, and
Huh?
for B, we use J for the columns of the matrix
Correct.
B.
Okay, great. So if I see here, let's say print C. Will this work? What happens? C. Same name is not defined, so it is capital, it is small. Let's see small. Yeah, we got the matrix multiplication here like this. Okay. So you should know how matrix multiplication works. Then you can easily write the logic here, right? But the first thing is how multiplication works in the matrix that we should know. Okay? A simple one here. Okay, so do you know what is transpose of a matrix? Let's say
yes,
I'm creating one matrix. And,
yes, the
huh?
row
So row become column and column become row.
Okay. Let's say for example I'm creating any one matrix. It's 2 by 3 matrix. Let's say for example. And okay, let's add any here. Okay, so all are distinct values. Okay, correct. So here we have 2 by 3 matrix, right? If I want a transpose of this matrix, so what's the dimension of that matrix?
3 cross
3 by 2, right?
yeah, yes, two by two cross three, sir. Two cross three.
This is basically 2 cross 3, na?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so transpose will be 3 cross 2, right?
Yes, sir.
So how to get the transpose? Tell me.
Right, 2
It
4
is
1 as columns 2 4 1 and 0 3. First column 2 4 1, second column 0 3 1. 0 3 minus 1.
sorry, I'm not getting. This is our matrix, right? So
So
it's a
we have to write as the columns of M. 2 4 1 and second column is 0 3 minus 1.
2 4 1 0 3 minus 1.
Vertically.
Yeah, but how to write a code for that? How we can get a transpose? I'm seeing a transpose. We have, let's say for example, tree. I want to write a code for this to get a transpose.
So
So,
it can change for ij. It will is equal to ji. I think interchange we get the value of ij as j and k value will be interchanged. Then that
hmm.
way it will be done.
So ij, so m of ij, if I take a transpose, it will become m of ji, right? That
Yeah,
particular
yeah,
value.
yes, sir, yes, sir.
How we can do that? Yeah, this is mathematically, but in the code, how we can do that? So you can see here m. If I start with 0, so 0 comma 0 is basically 2. Again, if I do a transpose, that will be 2. But 0 comma 1 is what here? That is 4. But in the transpose, that will be what? M 1 comma 0, that is basically 0. So this is what we want to do. But how to write a code for this? We know what we want, but just write the code for this.
For loop, I think.
For loop.
The
Okay.
for,
For I in range of what? So
len
whenever
of,
you
Len
want,
of m.
whenever you want to go through index, na, so we can go for a length function here, right?
yes, sir.
Length of what?
Len of m.
Length of m will be what? 2 only, na?
Len of, yes, sir.
Okay, then after this, tell
For
me after this.
second loop, again, for j in range of len of m.
For
For
I,
J in range of
this is correct, na? For I in range. Okay, why we are setting this for t? Okay. Then for j in range of what?
Again, len of m.
Again,
Len
length
of
of
m
m
of
will not be there.
No, no,
Na?
second. Len of m0. M0.
m0.
M0. Either first we have to do M0 or in the second we have to do M0, anything. But first we want to get number of rows, then number of columns, right? We want to compare like that.
Yes.
But is it a correct? Let's see. What is I? What is J here? If you say length of M is basically 2, length of M0 is basically a 3, right? So
Yes.
I, if I say Mij, so I will be a rows and J will be a column, right?
Yes. So
So
if I m of ij equal to m of gi, I think if m of ij equal to m of gi.
M comma Ij equals to M sorry MJI. Will this work? We are simply updating the matrix. Let's see. Even I don't know. Let's see. Will this work? So here length of M. It's not. M is basically dictionary. Length of M. What happened here? Range length of M. So length of M. Okay, why I have put it? It's in the square bracket. That should be in the round bracket like this. Let's see. Now what happened here? Here also why I have put
Yes,
this
sir.
in this square
Bracket one.
bracket. Again, this should be in the. Now what is happening here? List index out of range. Yeah, this is what I am saying here. So here it should be a 0 and here it should be a m. Then I think it should work. अब क्या हो गया? Here also list index out of range. Yes. For okay, for I in this range length of m0, then we are doing this j length of this one. Will this work? Here, if we have just two element, then it will work because in that case it will be correct, right? But I don't. We don't want to do because if you observe here, this will work for this square matrix only, right? What if we don't have a square matrix? In that
So
case,
it doesn't even work for the 2 matrix because it's giving us 2003, but the transpose should be 20 and 43.
yeah, 204. Oh, we're getting 03 here. Yeah, why we're getting 0 here at the index position? Not working for 2 by 2 matrix as well, right? It should be 4 comma 3, right? Hmm. Hmm. Here we have length of m0. We have a transpose function in matrix, but we don't want to. No, we don't have a transpose function. Yes, anyone?
Sir, for column, we should differentiate between length and column, right?
That something missing is there. Yeah. So how we can do that? Mhm.
Can we try denoting column as
So we'll see if we'll print one by one. Okay. So here what we are getting for in range of this one. So this is basically what? So M0. So M0 will be what? 3. So 3 is basically column here, right? That is correct. Then. Okay. What we are going to do? We'll create one new matrix. Let's see will that work. We'll create a new matrix transpose, and then we are trying to add in that. Okay. Let's see for in range this one. Then for J in range this one.
New matrix dot append T dot append M of J.
Append M of J. No, here this is basically what a column, but this should be row, right? So let's create new row here. This is basically an empty list for j in range length of n. This is basically will be my rows, but this should be a column of the transpose, and then we have to append this as ji, right? So I will append this one. Let's see, will this work? Then append this list. I will append the entire list here. So let me write that is basically m of ji here. What we are going to get here, let's try to print first. I will see. Wait, not underscore row.
Excuse me, sir.
Hmm.
Sir, sorry, why you have written for I in range len of m of 0 instead
Yes.
of len of m?
Len of m is basically what 2 here. That is basically a number of rows, right? And we want, if I want number of columns, that is basically length of m of 0, right? In this way, we'll get number of rows and number of columns. So I need to iterate to both rows and columns. So that's why we have mentioned like that. Okay. So this is basically what a row. This is basically number of columns here. So we have appended to new row. So here we got, yes, that is correct. But I need to append this to a transpose of this matrix here for the outer loop, I guess. So will this work? Let me try. G dot append, basically I'm going to add new row because I got 1 minus 1. So this is basically correct, but not the correct here position here. Right? Let's see. Let me print the T here. We'll see. This is correct, right? 2043. Yeah, 1 minus 1. Yeah,
yes,
this is
that's
correct. This is
correct.
transpose. Yeah. So see what we have done here. Instead of updating that matrix, we have created new matrix here. Okay. So you can see T is basically empty list here. Then for I in range length of M0. M0 is basically what? It will give us number of columns here, right? So I indicates number of columns of what? The matrix M here. Remember, then for J in range length of M basically will give us number of rows of matrix M here, right? But in the case of transpose, this row should become what? This should be a row. Sorry.
That should be row, right?
Yeah,
Because
so
M0
this
is the
should be
column.
row. Yeah, here you can see. So here we have mentioned J and I, rows and column like this. So we have created one new empty list here because if you see, matrix is basically list of lists. So we are creating one empty list, then they're appending that list to a this particular T, that is basically a transpose matrix, we can say. So that is a list of lists here, we can say. So in this way, we are going to get the transpose here. Okay. Any doubt here? So we are, instead of updating the matrix, we are creating a new matrix here, T. Yeah. I guess this is fine. Anyone, any doubt here? So please try here. What? Let me write the comments. It will be easier to understand what we have done here. So here we have done the matrix multiplication. Here we have done transpose of matrix. Okay. Okay. So any question in other than this? Anyone any doubt in week 5? We have discussed this, and then we have few functions here: map function, lambda function, zip. So just go through a summary session. That will be good enough. Yes.
Uh, Excuse me, sir.
Huh?
Not in week 5, but in other part of theory, in mapping, filtering, and alliteration, I guess the third name, in question of that graded assignment.
Enumerate we have, right?
Yes,
Excuse
in
me, sir.
week 4.
Can you explain local and global?
Local and global variable.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I guess we have discussed in the last session. See, if you are defining any function, right? So, and inside that particular function, you are using any variable. Let's say, for example, y equals to something. Now you have defined this variable inside this particular function. Now this variable will be a local variable which is applicable to this particular function name only. You can use the same variable in the different function as well. F2, for example, I can again use this y as a variable for F2 because this is applicable for this function, and here we're again creating the y for this particular function. This is basically local variable. But when you define the y outside the function here, that is basically a global variable here. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So even if you mention y outside, it is global. Here it is local, but it is not going to get updated the value of this global variable. Okay, even if you use y equals to 10, and here this function is doing y equals to 0, this is doing y equals to 1. Even if you print here, that is basically value of y will be 10 only. Okay, even if these functions are updating the value of y. Okay.
Yes.
If you want to update the value of global variable using the function name, because by default it is not going to get updated. So in that case, we have to use this global y. So we have to use keyword global y. Now this y is basically global variable, and we are going to update the value of y using this particular function. Okay. So simply local means we are using the variable inside the function. Global means outside the function. That's it. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, so lambda function, zip function is there, and then we have, I guess, enumerate, filter, map, like that. Okay. So yeah, any specific doubt in those function?
No, sir.
Okay. So please try to solve all the questions. The week 5 assignments are easy only, not that much difficult. We already solved the first two grade assignment. If you observe whatever we have discussed, you can easily solve first two. Okay. If you watch previous summary session, you can also solve GRPA 4 and 5 as well. Okay. So that's it from my side. Next week we'll be discussing the quiz one revision session. I can share this if you want.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Can you please explain some of the question on mapping, filtering, and allegation?
Okay.
That's a theory, and some of question are given in graded assignment of maybe week 3. I got so many wrong in that.
Okay. So filtering, right? So
Yes,
let
sir.
me go one by one. We'll discuss in short. First, lambda function. What is lambda function here? We have discussed about lambda function. Yes, anyone?
Function which we can a short function which we can define inside a loop to perform some task. For that, the function for which we don't want to write
Huh.
a different function, like defining a function. So
Defining a function. Okay. So let's say, for example, I have this list. Okay, let's say I have this list L having this element. Okay, so let's say 2 comma 4 comma 8, anything. Now I want to do a square of this particular element. That's it, right? So that is 4, 25, 64, like that. I need to write a function. I can define a function square. Then I can do take x as an input and x return y, where y equals to x into to the power 2, x to the power 2. I can write a function. But what is lambda function here? In a simple one line, what we can write?
For x in L, print lambda x
Yeah.
is that x.
So here lambda function we can define, that is basically let's say it is going to take x as an input, and what we have to doing with that x, simply we are pressing with the power 2, right? So this is lambda x we have defined here. So let's say, for example, this is what we are saying, multiply equals to this one, right? If I take multiply for you, what will it work? Yeah, so this is how we can create a simple lambda function, but I want to call this function for each element here for the L. So how we can do that? Now don't use for loop here. We can do for loop, but we don't want to use for loop here. So this is lambda function, simple. We can define in one line using a keyword lambda. Okay, it can take any number of argument x, y, z, any number of argument, but only one expression here. That is what a lambda function is. Okay, now we have something called map function as well, right? So what is map
Sir,
function here?
excuse me, sir.
Huh?
In lambda function, does it return value without returning?
Yeah, so whatever we have defined here, right? So output of this will be written as a value, okay, of this particular function. Okay.
No, no. It does it return value without writing, or
Yeah, so here we need to give input, and for that particular input, it is going to do that operation whatever we have specifying here. Okay.
okay, sir.
Yeah. So simple lambda function we can write in a single line. It can take any number of parameters here, argument. Okay. Then we have a map function, because I am going to use map function to do this what we can say, multiplication, sorry, square of this element. So map function is basically what? It applies that function. So if I use any function and if I want to apply for every element, then we can go for a map function here. So let's say we have map and then we have some function and it's iterable. This is a syntax for map function here. So how we can apply for this here for list L? Yes, anyone?
L of map of lambda x is that x is.
Yeah. So you can see this is basically syntax, right? So map will take a function and the iterable. Iterable is what? List here, and the function is what? We have defined this one, right?
We are squaring the number.
Yeah. So if I simply say a square here, and now I'm going to use the map function here. Map, then that will be either we can simply use this mul because it's a thing, or we can simply directly use lambda function here. I can do both the things. I can write the function here itself instead of storing in the variable. Okay. So this is a lambda function I have written, and for this L I want to iterate. Let's see what's the square.
Sir, we have to use list also, sir.
Yes, so this should be a list, so it should be a list. So list. Let's see. Yeah, we got this as a output. Okay, this is what it is. So simple a map function and lambda function. Okay, so go to the previous session. We have discussed that in detail. Okay. Okay. So that's it from my side. We can discuss in the next session. Okay. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
Sir, the filtering aggregation part, sorry.
Yeah, we can discuss in next session, or you can watch the previous session. Okay, I need
Okay,
to
sir,
go
no
now.
problem. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Bye bye. I will add this in the